to the Brake Check Show podcast. I'm Craig, and today we have a special simulcast, if you will, for episode 20. We recently shot a video for the YouTube channel, giving an update on where we're at after 5,000 subscribers. That's right, we hit it, 5,000 subscribers, a little sooner than we expected, and we're very excited about that. We thought you might enjoy this in podcast form as well, so here we go. Enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, welcome to Brake Check. I'm Craig.
And I'm Brian.
And we've got a little bit of a different episode for you here in the Brake Check Studios.
We do.
And this one's for the actual subscribers.
It is.
Because we know this isn't going to be the most popular video, but this is a little bit of a channel update. Where have we been? Where are we going? Why are we doing this now? And that's where we're at, Brian. Let's start with that. We're at 5,000 subscribers, as you can see, as of this recording.
We've hit
Congratulations.
it. Good work.
This is a sparkling alcoholic beverage.
Adult beverage.
Adult beverage. And so there we are. We hit 5,000. Brian, it's time for the channel update. That's what the masses are wanting. At least these 5,000 are. Hit me with some numbers.
Well, just to get it out of the way, we've had a couple people request a channel update. So that's enough to warrant us sitting in our studio and filming something for you. So, lifetime stats. A little history first.
Okay.
We started with this idea of we should make a YouTube channel, and because we obsess over cars constantly, and we should funnel this and quit annoying our wives with this and actually do something with this knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah. We're really helping our spouses out. That's why we do
It's really a favor for our spouses, yeah. No benefit for us.
No.
Not at all. Okay, which is how selfless we are.
Exactly.
So anyways, we started kicking this around about 2 years ago, and we actually shot our first episode January of 2020. And we did not publish that until late March of 2020. And that's because we don't know how to edit at that time. Neither of us.
Our background is not editing or film or photography.
Right.
Our background is we like cars. It's that simple.
We're car nerds. Look, I learned to read off of Motor Trend and Car and Driver, and you're such a stats nut that you get buried in that too. And so we've just met in the middle. And for those who don't know, we are related for better or worse. We're brothers, and we've been doing this for a long time, obsessing over cars. So, bring that around. We've since picked up a lot of equipment. We've picked up a ton of knowledge and met a lot of people along the way. And we're on a pace we're pretty happy with. I'm happy to hit that 5,000 mark. That's been actually a goal of ours, was by year 2 to hit 5,000. We've actually been right on there. We beat it, yeah. So I'm happy with that. So here's some lifetime stats. These are not 2021 stats. These are lifetime stats. We've had 1.6 million views. 5,051 subs as of this morning.
That was 54 now.
54 as of now. We've had over 15 million impressions on the channel, and that's through all of our videos or posts or anything we've done. That's YouTube specific.
Sure.
Not other social media outlets or our website. This does not count our website outlets at all. Our total watch time, Craig, 93,000 hours, which comes out to 5,580,000 minutes of eyeballs watching our content, which is kind of crazy to think about for something we make here.
Yeah.
I do want to get into our audience demographic.
Hang on, before you do that. So basically what you've told me, you gave me a bunch of watch time numbers.
Yes.
And how many people are viewing it and the time spent on that. What you're telling me is we're part of the problem why people are wasting so much time. We've made it worse.
We've put eyeballs on screens, yes,
Okay,
we have,
right.
yeah.
Okay, continue.
And by the way, this number doesn't show the amount of hours I've spent at a screen or you've spent doing research on how these things work.
So who's watching it? What are all those eyeballs connected to?
Yeah, so those are connected to humans, we think, and at least based on our comments, they are witty enough to
these are stats just for Earth, not global or intergalactic.
Right, these are Earth stats. Okay. Audience is, this is a big surprise, Craig, it's mostly dudes.
Huh.
In fact, it's 94% male, 6% female.
Surprising, because I thought with our physiques it'd be more female viewers.
Well, you would think. And by the way, that 6% female excludes our wives. So that's a better number. And also, honestly, in the last year, we've gone from 1% to 6%.
It's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah. And honestly, in the automotive market, media market,
it's just what it is.
It's just what it is. Geography, Craig.
Okay. Well, where are those eyeballs?
Yeah, this one's pretty fun to me.
Okay.
To no surprise, we are a U.S. based. We're actually Texas based. And I did not break down the U.S., but our viewers are not fully out of Texas. They're nationwide. Okay. But we are 60% viewership in the U.S.
Okay.
10% Canadian, Craig.
10% Canadian.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a Canadian fan that we know of, and apparently there's more than that. So that's good.
He's got some buddies too.
He's got some buddies.
All right.
What's number 3? What do you think the number 3 country is?
Man, number 3, I have no idea.
Wrong. It's Japan.
That's what I was going to say because the Mazda.
You're not going to
the Gary.
Oh, Gary, you're.
Yeah, of course. My car helped that.
Yeah, Craig's review of the Mazda 2 found all the Mazda 2 owners on the planet, and they've all commented on it, and it's less than 1,000. So, Japan's 3%, and then the rest of the planet is 27%. And that includes the United Emirates, that includes the UK and Ireland and all that stuff. So
A lot of gearheads in Japan, though.
a lot, yeah. So that's pretty cool. One more demographic is the age of our viewers.
Okay, all right.
And I won't go down the whole list, but more than half of our viewers are from between 25 and 44. So the primary buying demographic of at least males.
Makes sense.
After college, got a little money, they want to buy some cars.
Let's see what they got to say about
What
them.
they have to say about it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty cool. So here's a stat that I'm actually going to ask our viewers to help us with.
Okay.
Our watch time from subscribers, and this is not actually that uncommon for the automotive space, is 2%.
I know, yeah, and that seems to be a YouTube problem.
But our returning viewers is about 60%.
Right,
So
so
we
the
have
same people are
people-
watching, they're just not subscribed.
They're not subscribing,
Yeah.
exactly.
So why are they not subscribing, Brian?
Because we never asked them to.
Oh,
In
well.
fact, at one point you said, don't subscribe.
And we got more subscribers when I said that.
We did do that, that's true. So,
So we need
don't
to-
subscribe.
Don't subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
To help these numbers.
Yeah, that would actually help us. In all reality, we're going to talk about the mechanics here in just a minute, and that's one of the things that we'll get into. That's all I have on stats.
Okay, what about, so tell them about the number of eyeballs, where they're from, who they are.
Right.
What are they watching of our stuff?
Oh, what are they watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got our top 3 videos.
Okay, what are our top 3 videos?
And this is based on just strictly views.
Mazda 2.
It's the worst.
It's
way-
number 2.
It's number 0.
Oh.
Yeah. So the top 3 videos, number 1, the Lexus IS 500. Now, we got a chance at the Texas Auto Roundup, which is an automotive journalist event here in Texas. We had the chance to interview a rep on the vehicle, and that did quite well. Actually blew up, ended up on Reddit. We had a lot of feedback there.
Yeah.
Tons of questions on that. A lot of people asking for all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't drive in the snow with rear-wheel drive. Which
Yeah, we
is
saw that pretty
nonsense.
early at that event.
Yeah.
It's just now starting to become available, that actual vehicle.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. We like that car a lot, actually. I'm really excited to get that in our hands. We are on the
I'm
list
really
for that.
excited to get one of those in my garage.
Oh, that too, yeah. Number 2, Craig, any guesses?
Mazda 2, second. Yeah, Mazda 2, again. For the
Jeep Grand Cherokee L.
L, okay.
That thing was done surprisingly
This
well.
must have been the full review, though.
This was actually the walk around at the auto show.
Oh, the
in
walk
Houston.
around, okay.
Now, this is where the vehicle was revealed in Texas. 149,000 views to date. The Lexus was 323,000 views to date. And that keeps climbing, actually. That video is not falling off.
Crazy.
The third one, Craig, F-250 Godzilla, the
Wait a minute.
gasser.
So the gas F-250 in white, construction worker
Yes,
spec
the
model.
XLT.
Old man
yes.
spec model.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
at 81,000 views to date. Now, I do want to say that was an early video for us.
It was.
And that was kind of our first video to catch some traction and get some views.
And that was also, we got that video of the Godzilla. There wasn't a lot of coverage on the Godzilla engine at that
Right.
point. So
There's a trend here. And we'll get to this in mechanics in a minute. All of these videos were shot on the fly. None of these were produced,
Nope.
and none of these were thought out and said, here's the scheduled date, here's when we get the car, here's when we're going to do it. These were all on a whim, and they did quite well. Actually really happy with all of them. So that's pretty
and
cool.
And a little inside baseball. It's always really interesting and confusing.
Yeah.
Those were all run and gun kind of shoot style videos.
Totally.
Didn't even
If it
plan.
didn't follow our editing format,
We didn't plan any of those.
Right.
I think one of our best videos, the Jaguar that we did,
the F-Type.
the F-Type, was one of the best shot, most fun videos I've
We had
seen.
a lot of fun shooting that.
And-
Thanks, Max, for supporting that video.
And it really got a lot of views. So,
No, it really hasn't. And honestly, that's one of the cars I look back on and go, in the used car segment, I mean, we review new cars mostly, that was a really interesting car.
Yeah,
It was
it was.
a ton of fun.
It was.
And just no one cared to watch it. In fact, the locals in the town we were filming in didn't care for it either. So that was interesting. Before we get on to some more important tops, Craig, I want to bring up the top damaged vehicles while filming.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to be involved in these.
You are, yes. The number 1 highest profile
Hang on. Before you get into it, I just want to. This is not necessarily a bad thing because
Oh, no.
our viewers want us to test the vehicles. They can't drive all these. They don't have time for that.
No, that's true.
What they want to do is, okay, did y'all test it? What happened? Because I don't have time to drive all these.
Right.
We test them hard.
Well, we did
As evidence here.
3 times.
Okay.
Well, the top 3 was more than this, but no, we don't go around bashing cars, but we test them in
Yeah,
a way.
we'll get no more loaners after this.
No, yeah. Manufacturers, please bear with us. We drive these in a way that, as if we own them.
Exactly.
That's what we
and,
do.
And to be fair, manufacturers tell us to.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, 2 of these were actually in a setting that were set up by manufacturers where we damaged them. I'm going to go from 3 to 1.
Okay.
Number 3, the Jeep Wagoneer. Not the Grand Wagoneer, the Wagoneer.
Yeah.
And that was you driving?
On the easiest part of the trail.
Easiest part of the trail, there was a mud pit. It was really a water pit. And when you splashed in, it was just hard enough to unpop the lower valence.
Yep.
It broke some tabs. It wasn't permanently damaged. We were able to get it back up and keep driving. Pop it back in, not a big deal. Number 2 was the Mustang Mach-1, and yours truly was driving that.
What happened to that?
I broke the windshield out of that.
What?
Yeah.
What you did?
You know, I took it to lunch. One of the test days, and I came back and saw a pretty good star.
That. Yes.
A good star on the bottom of the windshield, and thought, man, that's going to be a problem. And I texted our Ford rep and sent him a photo and said, hey, man, heads up. Because these vehicles, by the way, we get them for a week. Manufacturers or fleet management companies will come grab them and take them to the next journalist. And I let them know, hey, this is the day before they're picking it up, by the way. It happened that Tuesday, they were picking it up on a Wednesday. And he was, okay, is it big or is it in the line of sight? Because if it's small enough, they can order the windshield, hand it to the next person, change it when it comes back in. And I said, I think it's okay. I came back out at the end of the day, and it had spread from that little corner all the way across the windshield to the passenger side. So that was not pleasant. It delayed the next journalist by a week, actually. So my apologies to Ford on that one. It just is what it is.
It happens.
And I don't even remember hearing something hit it, which is funny, but the exhaust is quite loud in that car.
Well, I'm more impressed that we got a rock chip in a Mustang versus a Jeep, because I expected it in a Jeep, but not that.
Well, that's true. There's time for that. Don't worry. There's still time for that. Number 1, and this is a little bit of a, well, I'm not going to divulge everything on this background story, but that's maybe a podcast episode later on. But the all-new Toyota Tundra, 1794 edition, 4-wheel drive, long wheelbase,
By all new,
hybrid.
you mean no one had gotten this vehicle yet?
Yeah, let me back this up. We were the first journalist at the first journalist event in the country to drive this.
First,
And
yeah.
you were the first brake check member to drive it. And you were the first brake check member to crash it.
Yes, I was.
And so let's be very clear about that.
I didn't crash it.
Did crash is a tough word.
Yeah.
We've actually held back on this story for a while. We wanted the impressions of the Tundra to get out in a positive light because this situation is not really the truck's fault.
Didn't want to make the Tundra. Yeah, this is not the Tundra's fault.
It's not a criticism of the Tundra. This truck was not a good candidate for the trail that we were on.
And we're not being irresponsible. We got the rep's permission. The Toyota representative was sitting in the truck with us.
He was
and
riding the
said,
shotgun with you.
Yes, go for it, do it.
And a little background, I was filming outside the vehicle. There's a hill climb. You had asked multiple times. We're the first person to drive this up this hill, and no one had driven it that day. First person in the morning to get the vehicle. And you asked, and I counted, I went back on film, 7 times, are you sure?
Are you sure?
And
because of the long wheelbase. I'm like,
Right.
break over
Right.
approaches, it's not going to make it.
Now, the previous year at this event, we'd had a Tundra TRD Pro, which was a crew cab short bed, had no problem on this.
Sure.
Did really, really well.
Little ground clearance.
Right. There was also a short wheelbase truck there at this event. We were not driving that, we were driving the long wheelbase. And you went up and took the nose off of it and then drug the rear bumper off of it.
The front and rear bumper.
Yeah, and then Toyota reps came running. Let me tell you.
A lot of attention.
A lot of attention for that.
Yeah, very concerned about their baby.
Yeah, because this truck was to be used at an event a few days later elsewhere in the state. And actually the full press launch was scheduled 2 days after this, so we had early access on it. So my apologies, or your apologies, to Toyota for that. We talked to them afterwards. It was unfortunate, but how it goes. They had to pull the vehicle out from the second day of the event to get it repaired. But that was unfortunate. Now, we learned a lesson that day, and it's that we need to listen to our gut sometimes, even though the runners of the event say do it anyways. So
We knew it wasn't going to make it. And it didn't make
we had our
it made it.
suspicions.
And
No,
they
it
were
made it,
able
actually.
to fix all that. They popped everything back
Yeah.
in. But
It was mechanically, there were no faults.
No.
And there were no, it was really the lower, it was more than the valence, it was
Wasn't-
the lower
yeah,
bumper.
wasn't
is
the
what it
truck's
was.
fault.
Wasn't the truck's fault. And it did make it, in all fairness.
It did. It
So
did make it up the hill.
that was not a assessment of the vehicle, but
Exactly.
just something interesting to bring up.
Yep.
All right, Craig, here's the important part that reviewers really give a crap about. What are our top 3 vehicles of 2021 that we have reviewed on the show?
Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
Grand Wagoneer or Wagoneer?
Sorry, Wagoneer.
Okay.
Grand Wagoneer is too expensive.
Right.
Ford Bronco.
Yes.
And near and dear to my heart, the Kia Seltos.
My man. My man. Okay.
Otherwise known as, a rally car.
Now, these are not in order. These are just top 3 in general.
Yeah, it's not in any particular order.
Okay. I kind of cheated on this a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's one in here that I know that you were, if we were to spend real money on, this would come up.
Okay.
I'm going to go 3, 2, 1 because I did rank these.
Oh, okay.
Kia Seltos, number 3.
Good call.
That car's great. Caught us off guard.
That car is underrated. Not enough people are buying those cars.
Totally agree. DSG, turbo, all-wheel drive, secret rally car.
Good ground
comfortable.
clearance. All the people want Subarus.
Right.
It does the Subaru thing, but also does the rally car thing, and also does the SUV thing.
As journalists, we should be clamoring for this thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and by the way, the Kona inline shares a lot of the mechanics of that thing. So that explains a lot.
And the Seltos is cheap.
It's very cheap. Okay, number 2, the Chevrolet Camaro SS1LE.
Yeah, that almost made my list. It was really close.
And I'm going to be clear with this, it beat out the Mach 1. And the reason why is because we drove a 10-speed auto Mach 1. I have not driven the 6-speed Mach 1.
Right.
Those head-to-head are probably the hardest choice I would have to make on the show.
Okay.
The SS1LE really caught me off guard. Not off guard, I was expecting it to be good. I met my hero on that, and it was worthy. It was very good. And number 1 is the Ford Bronco.
Yep.
And that is,
It's that special.
I also put Bronco, aka Ranger, because you can't find Broncos right now. So the Ranger trimmer seems really viable.
So you cheated and you put 4 in there.
Put 4 in there. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I said Bronco, but I realized I can't go buy one right now. So if I had to, I'd get the Ranger trimmer because it's honorable mention. Honorable mention, Ranger trimmer.
Okay.
Okay. And here's a question that I just personally want to ask you. What's your biggest surprise vehicle?
Oh, my surprise vehicle?
Like the one you drove that caught you off guard and you went, I did not see it coming. I thought this was going to be crap or it was going to be great and it wasn't. Either way.
Well, okay. I would say the Seltos, but I've already mentioned that. Okay. So I'm going to throw a vehicle in I haven't mentioned, and that is, because Seltos really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
That is the Shelby GT350. And can we use that? Because that was not a new car.
No, but we reviewed it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Shelby GT350.
Well, just so we're clear, the 350 was not in the Ford press fleet at the time.
No.
We had no way to get one, so we went to a dealer and we pulled one.
Yeah, they don't make them anymore.
Right. So they're not in the fleets. But we had to capture on the show. Such a great car.
So here's the thing about that. It's so, everybody says it's so special. Okay, whatever. When things get overhyped, I get a little, whatever.
Right.
I drove that thing. It lives up to the hype. It is that special. It is a game changer. It is a life changer.
Life changer.
It's that special.
Automotive life changer.
It's that special.
Yeah. I found that interesting because we went to shoot that day and it was a Mustang GT and the 350. We pulled it from Mike Brown Ford, one of our partner dealers we work with. And you basically said, this is an episode for you. I'm not excited about it.
Was not excited at first.
Right. And you were, V8s don't really get your blood boiling that often. Mm-hmm. And this one certainly did. Yep. Yeah. Now, I'll be honest with you. We've had commenters on both of these videos saying, you can't compare the SS1LE to the GT350, or you should compare them.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in the same boat.
No.
And part of it is just that the LS or LT-based GM motor is not as special feeling as the Voodoo, or the Coyote for that matter.
Right.
But in terms of chassis and competency, they really are close. They're really quite good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What was your surprise?
Oh, my biggest surprise was the Chevy Trail Boss.
Okay, the Realtree Chevy.
The Realtree Chevy Trail Boss.
With the 6-speed 5.3. Not the big motor, not the new transmission, and camo. And
now, let me be very clear. Our GM rep actually, I talked to him beforehand, and he goes, just so you know, it's a custom, it's not an LT, it's not loaded out. Yep. He was apprehensive to even send it to us.
Didn't even have a leather steering wheel.
No leather up steering wheel, urethane. It was $47,000, which is the same price as a Ranger loaded out, right? Which is compelling. It's not the big engine, it's not the new transmission. And he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? I said, yes, send it to us. Had camo on the side, which was stupid, but beyond that.
I'm going to cheat, that's my honorable mention.
Oh, honorable mention. Okay. That thing was awesome. In fact, we talk about it to this day. We drive newer trucks that have a ton of tech, and we go, they're not any more competent.
It's such a bargain. Once you take all that tech out, now you don't have a $70,000 truck.
Exactly.
It's 40-something like it should be.
Exactly.
And it's just as capable.
Well, and here's the reality. Yeah. When COVID gets done with, that truck's going to be a mid to low 40s, depending on how you spec it, all day long.
That's going to be a bargain.
On the custom trim, not the LT. Yeah. That was really cool. I like that a lot.
All right, Brian, before we move on to the last thing, there's one last category.
That's right.
That is the Brake Check Vehicle of the Year, also known as the BC Voti.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Ford Bronco.
Son of a bitch. That thing's awesome. Look, let's talk about it a little bit. We got the Bronco Outer Banks. Wait, let me back up a little bit.
Yes.
I reserved a Bronco.
Yes. you did.
Day one, night one. And then as it progressed on, and I kept thinking about it, I wasn't ready to give up my current vehicle
Yep.
in order to take a chance on a vehicle that wasn't proven yet.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is because of COVID, and I'm not blaming Ford, this is not just Ford dealing with this.
It's a timing thing.
Timing thing, the car isn't teethed out. It hasn't been solved. Some just production things. So, and some of that's top, some of that's just parts availability.
Sure.
I don't regret canceling the order. I did cancel the order. Also, I wanted it in green, which now 22 is going to have it in green. I have not re-reserved the vehicle, but it's very likely that I will in the next year or two end up with one. And that's because we got the Outer Banks on loan, which is the one we would not spec for ourselves. Street tires,
Yep.
2.7, automatic, and it was really, really good.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it didn't have any of this trick off-road Bronco goodies other than the platform itself
Right.
and a rear locker.
So that's what was neat because it was non-Sasquatch.
Non-Sasquatch.
It was non-Outer Banks.
no front locker.
I'm sorry, not Outer Banks, Black Diamond, not
Yep.
Black Diamond. And didn't even have the bash plates and stuff.
No front locker.
Right.
No disconnecting sway bar.
Right, right.
And it went over everything we threw at
It
it
was great. It was awesome.
with street tires.
And it rode phenomenally well
Yeah.
on both dirt and pavement, and its highway manners. It just never wandered. And we've driven a ton of Jeeps, and we love Jeeps. This is not we're not beating on Jeeps, but there's a lot of people that won't buy a Jeep because they don't drive as well on the highway, and this solves that.
I'll say this. This is almost a budget Wrangler 392. Here's what I mean by that.
I'm gonna one up you. It's almost a budget Defender, Land Rover Defender.
It's both those.
It's both of those.
It really
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Obviously, those are both a little bit better in their own ways.
Right.
But for the price, I mean, you're getting 80% of all that.
Yeah.
So,
And the only trade-off, we've driven the Defender. The only trade-off is it's not as posh,
sure.
but the Bronco to me feels like it belongs off-road more.
It does.
And I think it's that independent front and solid rear is the right combination for ability and highway manners.
And what they did is, so 4Runner for years prior to the Bronco, this is why
Right.
this is the vehicle of the year.
Right.
For years, it was the Wrangler, 4Runner. Like
That was it.
Like that's it.
Yeah, for like the last 20 years almost.
And Wrangler was your off-roader, your rock crawler.
Right.
And 4Runner was your overlander, let's go trail cruising, whatever.
Right.
A lot of aftermarket support for both of those. They
For sure.
sell every single one they can make, Jeep and
Yeah,
Toyota.
you can't. It's hard to buy either one of those right now.
Jeep
Too.
has kind of kept up, and they kept updating it, but they haven't gone away from their
They're staying with the roots, yeah. Which they kind of have to, in all
Yeah.
reality. If they went independent front, they would lose a lot of fans.
Sure.
So,
Toyota's roots are, this is what it is, it's reliable, buy it. We're not going to update it for a while.
right.
Ford has come on the scene. They're like, look, kind of put both on notice. They've split the middle of those. We've driven both.
Right.
And it does a great job of blending those two cars.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
awesome.
It's a new
It's absolutely
space
awesome.
in that area, in that segment, and we love it.
It's an easy winner for me, and it's
Yeah.
not even up for debate. And we've driven a lot of stuff this year.
It's as good as all the hype. Is there maybe some
Yeah.
build issues and
Yeah,
some
sure.
quality issues in the interior? Sure. But overall, by and large, it lives up to all the hype of the Ford marketing team, and that's a lot.
Because they aim high. Let me
They
tell
do.
you, the whole
They
Bronco Built Wild video,
Yeah.
when that came out, I thought to myself, I can't afford not to reserve one of these. That's how good it was.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
I want to, you talked about quality control. We drive a lot of stuff. We find problems in a lot of cars.
yeah.
So in fairness to, and granted, we get press fleet vehicles that are abused quite a bit. So we're not criticizing any brand.
Sometimes we get pre-production, early production models.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. We've had some mechanical problems before where they're not, we know they're not up to snuff. We're not going to judge them on that.
Yeah, we don't even mention it.
But we got a Ford Bronco with the wind noise problem on the hardtop. And I'm here to tell you that it is annoying, but it is not enough for me to not buy one.
It's not as bad as people are making it out. to be.
Totally. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's expectations involved too.
I do think the regular hardtop is a little quieter because they've been doing it for such a long time. They got it figured out. They've got suppliers figured out. They've got
fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So give it a year, the Bronco's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. So now let's do some inside baseball. So with kind of channel update, we've done a vehicle of the year. Before we get into the future and where we're heading, how does this whole thing work? You know, we spent a lot of time and energy. It's been almost 2 years now. We've hit 5,000 mark a little earlier than we hoped to, and that's been great.
Yep.
But how does this whole thing work? A little inside baseball to our viewers. What's behind the scenes? A little sneak behind the curtain.
Well, let's kind of go back to where we started. We started out with a vehicle we owned and one GoPro.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
no
one
external
GoPro,
mics.
yeah.
Yeah, and it took us all day. and it took us 3 months to package it. And by the way, the hardest part is realizing as producers and editors, it does not need to be that long.
No.
In fact, this video is going to get chopped down some.
Yep.
And we're not trying to curate the experience or present it as something that it's not. It's just that y'all don't care to watch all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we're trying to think of what we like when we watch
Right.
YouTube videos.
We don't want a lot of fluff in there. We want content.
If it just drags on, we're like, we're done.
We're done.
So,
Right. There's an attention span problem. Thanks a lot, TikTok. So that's, which we're on TikTok, by the way. Check that out. So how it works is we've gone from pulling our own vehicles or people we know in their vehicles, the Jag F-Type, the Z06 C5, the Town Car, the S197 Mustang, which that was a ton of fun too. Those are all vehicles of people we knew.
Yep.
And then we made contact with some dealers and we pulled vehicles from there. And we're still partnered with those guys. And by partner, I mean we've got relationships that we borrow vehicles from them and in return we mention them in the video.
Sure.
It does not change our outcome of the vehicle's assessment, but we do recommend or we do mention the dealers that we've worked with because we also know them well enough that we trust them.
Right.
So we started pulling vehicles from there. Then we started knocking on the door of manufacturers. In fact, we've been reached out to by other outlets. How do we get vehicles? And I'm just going to kind of get to that now. It's not that easy.
No.
There are a lot of people that just want freebie handouts.
Yep.
And that's not our line of business. Our line of business is to get manufacturers to partner with us and provide us a resource they have on staff, on hand, because we can't afford to buy these vehicles. And in return, we give a honest, accurate assessment and then promote their vehicle through our assessment. And by that, if we review it well, if we like it, and we're always honest about this, if we like it, you might like it too in the video and it gets good exposure for them.
Yep.
And that's why this matters right here. That's why these numbers matter. And now we get vehicles brought to us. It's not all the time. In fact, we've gone through some spells where we've paused because we're just overworked because we have full-time careers outside of this still.
Yep.
This is not something that we do full-time.
Right.
And we basically will film a vehicle and it's usually a half-day shoot these days. And then we will then curate it for about a week and edit and get it all cranked out and push it out, usually on Saturdays, kind of what we're doing lately. That's really how it works. And then the manufacturer will come pick it up after a week's usage.
Yeah, and so basically we're part of the press, the media. We're members of the Texas Auto Writers Association.
Absolutely.
So we have some connections there and some other media contacts and partners that we like to work with.
Absolutely.
And then because in the old days when we were growing up, you had magazines.
Yes.
So you had a press fleet for
I'm glad
magazines.
you brought that up. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's it.
That was it.
Well, now we're moving forward into the 21st century. We're well into that.
It's digital transformation is what it is.
There's still those magazine outlets out there, and they're still getting cars, and they're still producing content.
But they're digital too.
But they're all digital, and they're doing video. And so as YouTube's exploded, this is a great way of kind of a good... good for both of us.
It's an outlet that we can use. And
It's good for us, good for them. The Ford or Toyota or Mazda or whoever, they get press.
Right.
And then we also get to, we like to scratch our itch of, we're gearheads. We like these cars. We like to touch and feel them because we grew up doing that. And so this is fun for us. And we hope you enjoy it and hope that passes on and translates through.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other way that this works is by you watching. I want to get to that. And I want to say thanks. This is one of those things where we've got a lot of people to thank for where we've gotten to. We've got a ton of friends helping us, manufacturers helping us. Just by supply. And I want to thank you for watching. That's the biggest deal. If you weren't watching, we wouldn't be doing this. And we're at a point now where this is not a money-making expedition for us.
Nope.
This is something that we enjoy, and we put a ton of time. If we were to bill our hourly rate on this, we'd be way upside down.
Yeah.
But we enjoy it, and it's a ton of fun. We get a lot of good feedback. We love the interaction with our fans. And just want to say thanks for watching. That's the biggest deal.
That's kind of a little inside the baseball, or inside the baseball.
That is the inside of the baseball.
That's the inside of the baseball. That's
It's
the cork.
It's cork.
No. So a little bit sneak behind the curtain there. But let's talk about the future. So we're kind of close to that 2-year mark. We're at the 5,000 mark, and we kind of both committed to each other. Look, we're going to get the 5,000. We're going to get 2 years.
Right, and then we're going to reassess.
Right. So what's next? What's the future for Brake Check Show? What does it look like? Where are we heading? Once you get diving.
Yeah, and I don't want to give everything out here because we've got some stuff coming.
Can't share it all.
Can't share it all.
You got to stay tuned. You got to subscribe to get that.
Yeah. Really, got to subscribe to make this work for us because we're trying to grow the channel and go some new directions and provide some really cool content. But we need to make sure we can make better partnerships by having numbers like this and keeping this going.
Yeah, because more of that inside baseball. the manufacturers ask us, who's
What are
watching
your
your
numbers?
stuff? And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what we were talking
And
about.
honestly, a lot of manufacturers they're used to print media and press, or local news, regional stuff.
Yeah.
They're not used to YouTube yet, not all of them. Some really do and some don't. And they see a number like this and they go, well, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
All right, so we're working with people like Odd Riders and also our contacts with manufacturers to explain that and see where to place. So really back to how it works, I'm gonna go backwards again. It works by us producing, by you watching, by you liking. The algorithm on YouTube is very simple. You like it, it gets shared some more. In fact, subs don't matter as much as likes do. Because you can be subscribed and we can publish a video and you won't see it because other stuff you've liked is in front of it. And that's fine, but that's just a method for us to produce.
But that's why liking saves a puppy.
That's why liking saves a puppy. Exactly. Check out the foreign review for explanation of that joke. We have dad jokes, by the way, they're great. So, channel updates. We've hit 5,000, Craig. We've cracked the 2-year, well, not quite, but we've actually beat that market. I don't know about you, but I want to keep doing this.
Yep, it's fun.
It's fun, we enjoy it. I think it's something that we need to re-gear it though, and I don't want to get into all the details of it, but look for early first quarter 22, so probably January, maybe February, hopefully January. We're going to have a refocus of the channel, and we're going to go a little bit of a different direction. We're not going to change really how we do it. We're going to tweak it, but we're not going to flip the table by any means. And Brake Check will still exist. It will still be within our content stream, but it will be its own focused product.
Okay.
So for our viewers out there that are into, I don't want to give any more away, but it's not going away. It's going to be a focused thing that you're probably going to like, and then we're going to do something else that's going to be higher volume, and that's because of the focus in the automotive space. And more to come on that. I don't really want to give any more
Right,
of that
so
away.
stay tuned. We've learned some things along the way,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
with that, we're going to kind of take advantage of some of that knowledge and channel it towards what we're talking about here.
And a couple things I'm going to bring up. Our top 3 videos were not produced items.
Right.
Brake Check is a produced show that we know what's coming, or we've planned the shoot, we plan where we're going to shoot it, how we're going to shoot it, and what we're going to capture based on our assessment. The ones we run a gun do better. We're not going to do run a gun though. We've surveyed our audience and everyone said we prefer a higher production quality over volume. So we're going to kind of split the difference on this a little bit.
Yep.
So stay tuned, let us know what you think as we're going along. Now, a couple things, you brought this up earlier, Craig, and that is we don't have a paywall for our content.
We don't.
We don't. The only revenue that we generate, and honestly it's just covering cost at this point, is through Google AdSense on the views that we have on the show.
That's it.
That's it.
We don't do any of the Patreon stuff.
Nope.
We
Yet.
don't do any of the other versions of that.
Right.
We don't put anything behind a paywall on the website or anything like that.
Well, we want our fans to enjoy it. We don't want to have that kind of experience. But we do plan, and we did say we would assess either, I think it's YouTube Teams or it's Patreon at the 5,000 mark. We do plan on setting that up. But I want to know from you, what do you want to see on it? We are not trying to put our normal content behind a paywall.
Right.
We are trying to give bonus content for the diehard fans, the ones that are
If we're going to do this, it's going to be more work for us, but it's going to be more for you to see.
Exactly. And so we need to know what you want to see, because I don't want to go put more work out there and create a Patreon and all this kind of stuff and create more content if you don't really want to see it.
No.
So let us know. We'd like to have a tiered system, probably 2 or 3 levels of it, and let us know what you want to see. It can be based off of, we have a podcast, by the way. That could be behind a paywall. I'm not opposed to that if that's what people want to do, and we can focus it differently.
Yeah.
Some people do review requests, which we already do that anyways. People request, we try and work it in. But let us know what you want to see. We're down with that.
More projects. We haven't, we dabbled in that a little bit, but
Project
not a
Cars,
whole-
yeah. We're really on the cusp of doing that, whether it's vehicles we own or purchasing a vehicle for the channel. That's a really good point. If you would like to see a project vehicle on the channel outside of new vehicle reviews, let us know. That might be a Patreon funded project. We would love to do that.
Yeah.
And beyond that, this is a ton of work, but it's a ton of fun. I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy the interaction with our people. And thanks for watching and being a part of it. Thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah.
I'll never say that again, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that on camera. Thank you. I don't mind saying it. But I am sitting on the same plane with you, so somehow we got on
yeah.
video together.
Yeah.
But yes, no, it's been fun. It's been a lot of work.
Oh, tons.
But it's been, I think, worth it.
A lot of joy too.
Because the comments that come through, to me, the comments make it worth it.
You know what we
I
could do?
love just reading the comments. That's so
We should do a Patreon-funded or paywall for our Fun with Comments section.
We should.
Because we have some great, entertaining comments that are good and bad.
There's
Ton
good
of
and
fun.
bad, and they're all fun. I love it. Even the bad ones are entertaining.
Oh, they're the best. Those are actually the better ones.
Just keep them coming.
Yeah.
So we love them.
In fact, respond with only wrong answers. That's all we're asking you from now on.
That's way better. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of it, and we'll see you in the next update.
All right, have a good one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little update from the studio, also known as Brian's Garage. Again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, stay tuned and keep driving, my friends.